think. Have you? I don't. I do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Did you get up an hour early, or did you have a big sleep in and remember to turn your clocks back, or that we had turned our clocks back? Anyway, welcome to Sunday morning at Chandler's Cottage. I'm here spot on time, so what I might do this morning, just by waiting for people to join us, I have just taken the footplate off my sewing machine, and it's in need of a bit of love. So I thought we might just have a look at what's entailed in cleaning my Bonina, just quickly before we get started. Now, when I was, just a little story for you, when I was a little tacker, when daylight saving ended, my dad was the one that would always instill in me the value of time. And we used to play this game where we wouldn't use the extra hour, I use the term use, until we really, really need it. And Rob's standing there going, yep, that would be Murray. So what we sometimes didn't use that extra hour. I've just got my little micro brush in here. We wouldn't use that extra hour until we really needed it. And then sometimes that would be, I don't know, 8 o'clock on the Sunday night when I didn't want to go to, oh, I'm fine, thanks, until it was time to go to bed. And I wanted to stay up an extra hour. Or we would find something else in the weekend that we wanted to make time for. And we didn't have the time, so that's when we would put our clocks back. So guess what I'm saying is too, if you have not put your clocks back yet, you need to get up for me an hour later. But if you haven't, you might want to use that hour to do all sorts of things like clean your sewing machine. Look at all that fluff I had in there. That is from, Rob's just asking if I want to move the camera at all. I actually don't, because when we get to, I'll just put it there, when we get to other stuff later, I need this here. You want to clean that sewing machine out. Look at all of that. And that is just fluff and stuff from yesterday.
Whose machine?
On Rob's machine. Oh, you're so funny. On Rob's machine that I use here because my machine's just bigger. Just saying. And it doesn't fit that well on the table for the show. Give it a good clean. That's just from sewing cushions with batting and different sort of polar fleece on the back of upholstery fabrics yesterday. Goodness me. So much there. I'm going to leave my feet here because we're going to talk about feet and needle plates in just a little while. So I'm going to sit those there so I remember to talk to you about that. And I'll just pop my bobbin back in. So it is good to go. I haven't oiled, I must admit, this morning, but I think I did it the other day. Shall we just, we'll just have a quick look. On these machines, oh yeah, he's okay, he's all clean. You actually oil down in the race, everyone would know, and in the race, in the bobbin framework case. So I'm just going to shut that there. I'll leave that and we'll come back in a bit. So hopefully it will behave. Good morning. Okay, that's better, isn't it? Now you can see what I'm doing. Now let me just see who's here before we get started. Oh, you're all here. Good morning, Chris, Rob, and ladies. The day is half over. That is so true. It is.
I hope not. Good
morning, Pauline. Good morning, Dell. Nancy, good morning. Nancy's just made her cappuccino. Yay. Sally, you should have made it. You had an extra hour. Come on. You would have made it. Denise, good morning to you. Good morning, Doreen. Karen Robin says, a lovely sleep in this morning. I'm glad you did. My body clock just woke up. So what am I? New time, I was up at 5. Which was 6, which is fine because I got all of the specials up for the show this morning, which was the plan. Good morning, Jill. Up, Jill's down for AQC. Yay, you come to visit. Come on, get on the train, Jill. Come out one day this week. Kay, good morning. Good morning, Rose, Fiona, Chris, Janine, Jill, Bernadette, Bridget, I emailed you back this morning, mate. Janine, Angela, good morning. Maria Sapeda's in the building. Jackie's here as well. Back to normal time. So for all of our Queensland, Western Australian friends, yay. Wait, what about Tassie? No, they were with us, weren't they? Yeah.
Maybe.
They used to entertain it for a while, didn't they? And then they'd go back the other way.
They were the first start to have it.
They were the first. Did you know that?
And they went longer.
They went longer.
Because it's further south.
Chris Edgley, good morning. Hello, Jenny. Oh, you lovely lot. All right, so this morning is a little bit of a menagerie, and as you can see, the stand's a little bit of a menagerie as well. I've got a few bits and pieces up there to go through with you. So what I wanted to talk about first, because I can, and this isn't for all of you except for Angela, really. I've got to put it on TTP, Angela. I wanted to talk to you. You know what I'm going to talk about, don't you? You know, don't you? I'm going to talk about US tariffs. I am. I have to. I can't help myself. We have to talk about it just for a minute, because if anything, Ginny, wherever you are, can you stop? Thank you. She's just decided it's time to ring her bell. I wanted to talk about them because I know that everyone here, aside of our poor quilting mates in America, are worried about how they will impact on us. And so what I wanted to do was just reassure you that from Chandler's Cottage and a textile pantry point of view, they're not going to make much of a difference at all. And I'll explain why. So we, whenever we can, we bring our fabric in direct from the factory. It doesn't go via America. So if we do that for Textile Pantry and with Jason's fabrics as well, and with my fabrics, they come straight from Japan or Korea or where we have them printed. So they don't go to America first. So there's no tariff add. It's the same, it's business as usual. So all that's happened in the last couple of days, and I suppose knowing that they were coming in a way, we've been working hard to make sure that all of the fabric that we order, where absolutely possible, everywhere, comes direct from the factory. It's not going to go via America. And so we've been working very hard with Jason, with our mutual fabric agent, with the mills that we work with in Asia, so that we are all on the same page and that we can get all of our factory printed fabric direct from the mill or from the mill. So that's what we've achieved in the last couple of days. So invariably onwards into the future, at the moment, nothing that we have coming in will incur that tariff. It would only be if it went to America first and then we bought it from America and brought it in here. So that's really, really good news. And I wanted to just hone that through a little bit more, because knowing it was kind of coming, I kind of ramped up the design process for myself as well. And I've explained that to you, I think, briefly before. So usually my Quilters Life girls only get a sneak peek, but to hone that through, I wanted to pop this up this morning for you. This is a little snippet of what I've got coming in September as an example. So this is, you might recognize, Ginny, Rob, you're going to have to do something, please. She's right over here and she needs to stop. Do you hear that? Dad, don't tell me what I need to do. Can you pop her out for me? She's just having one of those mornings. You might recognize this. This is, or was originally my my Oriental Baltimore, and it's now coming as a panel. Now this has been in the making for 5 years. We had this set up before COVID, and now we've updated it. It's going digital and we're printing it. So that's a little snip. Now you look at that little thing and go, this big. It's just printed out on A3. It's actually, the height is the full width of the bolt, so it's a 60 centimetre or 24 inch repeat. So that is coming, and this is a little example of the border print. So, you know, Jason's beautiful ones, he does 4 10-inch across the bolt. I'm going 6 6-inch across the bolt. And so that will actually give us a lot of opportunity to do a lot of hexagon kaleidoscope work and all that sort of stuff with it, which will be really, really nice. So in terms of other fabrics, I don't see in the foreseeable future that it will make any impact on us. All of the fabric we've already ordered from the States for you, and I order it from a distributor there 12 months out. That price is locked in. They cannot change it. So unfortunately for them, they may wear that extra cost. However, they may have their price locked in with the mill as well. So all of this all of that will happen up there. It's not going to impact on us anytime soon. And so there's a lot of things we're going to do here at the Textile Pantry in Chandler's Cottage over the next couple of weeks. We're going to look at what stock is already here from our distributors that perhaps we can stock up on, and Rob and I will wear that. We'll sit on it and we'll bring it in so we can secure a price for you. We're also looking at, we're upping our orders that come out of our factories in Asia as well. And all of my stuff will come straight out of Korea, so it doesn't affect it at all. If you're wondering, if a company bought from us my fabric to take into America, yes, then it would get that huge tariff. And if they bought it from us here, whichever country it is, 25 to 34%. And if they bought from us to take in to the US and imported from us, which they may do, it's 10%. But don't worry, I just don't want you to worry that, all of a sudden I'm not going to be able to quilt anymore because everything's going to be 25 to 50% more. That's not going to happen here. So I just wanted you to know we're all over it. Aren't we, Rob? She's just laughing now. He's going, haha.
I wouldn't like to be an American quilter.
No, we wouldn't. We really, really feel for our friends in America. We really, really would. And we really, really do. We really feel for them. I wouldn't like to be in their shoes at the moment. I am sure a lot of girls over there are thinking, I need to stash. I need to stash. Do you remember we all stashed with the global, when was that? There was the big global crash. I remember the global crash, and I actually didn't know it was happening, but I had quilters standing on the doorstep of my shop in Beaumaris waiting for me to open the day of the crash, and they were all stashing up before their husbands realised all their super funds were gone. So, no panic, no panic. Definitely no panicking. Who said awesome? Oh, that's right, Deanna. It's all good. Oh, yes, so you're kind of sitting on the fence in Costa Rica. It goes both ways for you, doesn't it? Oh, you poor thing. But we'll be fine. And it'll be absolutely fine. We are actually giggling that it might, well, not giggling, wondering. In some cases, it might be cheaper for companies to bring fabric into us and have us ship it to them because it's just coming from Asia and going out. It's like a chessboard at the moment, and I don't even play chess. So it's like a chessboard. Did I miss anyone coming on board? Good morning, Jenny Miller. Sweetie, how are you this morning? It's good that you are here. Sue McGonchi, good morning. Good morning, Shirley. Judy Vermeulen's in the building. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you as well. Hey, for all of those that are in a Quilters Club, Quilters Life. I can't get it right this morning. In a Quilters Life, have you checked your general section? Have you told me if you would like to come on Easter Monday for your lunch that Rob and I are putting on for you with the Chandler's Cottage family and Priscilla Bianchi from Guatemala? If you haven't, please do that this week. I will finally be checking numbers, and if I've got a full house, I'll be closing off. So make sure you have a couple of cheeky girls have joined the club so they can come on Easter Monday. That's just fine. Absolutely fine. So anyway, that's why they're up. Our search word for this morning is Easter. Okay, so if you want to see what I've got on display today, you put Easter in the search window and it will bring everything up for you. This is a gorgeous, I almost think it's hilarious fabric. I'm going to hold it up for you here. Actually, Bob, can you grab me an electric cutter? I'm going to do my usual trick and cut a slip off. This is digitally printed by Hoffman, so it's got that gorgeous feel to it. And it's amazing because they have incorporated not only all of the leaves almost in a photographic way, but, and I'll have the other one, this is flat, please, Rob. There's another one over there. They've got the shadow behind them. So it's really, can you see it? It's so 3D. It's amazing. So just, got it?
Yep.
Oh, careful. Mm-hmm. They really don't want to see how you're dressed this morning. We're going out to cart to the back veranda after the show, if that's any indication. So just to give you an idea, because I've just literally cut a slip off here. Oop. Look at all the colours in that. Isn't that amazing? So you can look at it as an actual autumn print, and you could make a beautiful table runner for autumn with that. If I'd had this in time for the Creative Escape, my friends, that might be the table runners on the tables. But it's also great to use for lots of different beautiful things, like cutting out birds' wings or things like that over the top. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's what's up there on the wall. Then I've pulled down, we call this Ross, it's ROS gelato. I pulled this down because I just think with that, can you, oh, sorry, give me a tick. Sorry, there you go. If I pull that down and pop that with that, can you see that? Maybe I'll pop it down here on the table. Look at that. They just look amazing together. See all of these reds pulled up, the oranges and the yellows. Now we haven't got the green in there, but I tell you what, everything else is in there, and that's just going to give you a lovely effect. Okay, I'm going to pop this one back up. There we go. I get a bit confused with the cameras, I'm sorry sometimes, guys, when I'm on a delay. So I see, I'm doing what you see 8-10 seconds before you do, and sometimes I look at the wrong screen. I think I've got the right one up and I haven't. All right, now specials this morning as well. I've popped this on special just a little bit, and also our orange flowering gum, and I'll explain why in a minute, why that is up here. And also you have got on special some Melbas as well, and this is going to go with your Melba that's on special. So up on the wall I've got the hexagon table topper, so called the Hexi table topper, and we haven't had this one out for quite a while, and it hasn't actually been online to buy as a pattern for quite a while, but we have now fixed all that up, and I've popped it up as a kit and also as a pattern today, and I've put it at a price that reflects our Melba fabric clearance price. Okay, so I'll let you have a look at that. This is the pattern here, and the reason that this came to my mind this week quite a lot, it wasn't because of Melba, it was because of Daydreams. So all those beautiful packs of Daydreams that you gobbled up last week, I've just put some more up online as well. Because of those, and because of that print that we talked about that I'm using for Weekend at Melba's, that is reminiscent or looks very similar to our kaleidoscope print that worked equally well in Weekend at Melba's, it would work equally well in here. And I wish I thought of that before I started designing a whole new wall hanging or table topper I'm doing at the moment. But this is a great mixed technique project. So yes, there are hexagons. Yes, there's English paper piecing hexagons. So you've got those two things going on, fussy cut for the hexagons, 3D cherry blossoms, and bias making. So all in all, it's a really fun project. Great fun to fussy cut. If you've got one of those bundles of Daydreams, I'll have them back with me here to show you on Wednesday night. I haven't got any at the moment. They've just been cut to do the next stock. You could actually use a different print in all of the hexagons if you wanted to, and then use the leftovers to do all the little flowers inside. So that's where it came from, not from Melba. But this Melba is on special, super special. You know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just sharing all the love before it's gone, and then the hope you'll make something for the exhibition as well. And I've also popped the project panel up for you also. So that one's up. Now this one, when you look at the price on this, please remember it's not for 1/2 metre, it's for 60 centimetres, so it's even a better bargain than you were thinking. So if I put these side by side for you on the table, that would not be the table, that would be the table. You can see these work really well together. And we also have in some new fabrics, just some beautiful metallics for autumn from Benetix. So if I sit this like that there, you can see how beautifully they all go together. In Melba, there are actually two different greens. There is a blue green and an olive green. So there are two different ones that you can play with. And some of the projects that we did earlier on, if we needed two greens, we would use both. So there's this sagey green that's in here. And then we've got our sort of mint or olive green over here. And if you have a look at the selvage, you'll actually see it down here. It's quite blue. So I've got my dark green, olive green, there's an apple green used to shade the leaves, and then there's this beautiful green in here, blue green as well. So just keep that in mind when you are playing with the fabrics. There are a couple of there that you can use. I love this green with this, and this is the green that I'm popping in the kits to do the bias work on here. So it's just a little bit showing. But that's the one that I'm going to use. Now there's also an orange, and I grabbed the orange in this because we don't have any more the bright orange fans. So I grabbed this. This is kind of out there, true. Guess what it's called? Guess what it's called? Pumpkin. Of course it's called pumpkin. And it is very much the colour of my jacket. I've just realised. So this is a super bright, vibrant orange. This would be something I would have stashed. And as an alternative to red for Christmas, because of the metallic on it, it's just that little bit left field, and it's really lovely. Again, if I'd had this, may have been the table runners. Oh, in the kits as well, I'm using this. This is a Toscana. This is not up online, I don't think. Let me just check. This is Toscana Ivory. Let me just check for you while you have a look at that there. You can see how well it goes with the background on Melba, and that is the one that I am using. Do you want to come into my website with me? Let's just go into the website and check. It's the one I'm using for the background in the Hexie Tabletopper kits. I'm going to panic. Oh, it is. It is in there. There is some there. Probably got a little bit more than that. Let's just up that a bit. There you go. Right, so there's 6 meters online, and that is $20 a meter. So this is perfect to use with all of your Australis coloured. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not happy with the background colour on this quilt. Can you see it? It's too light. Never been happy. And it's even worse. It's even more stark on the pattern cover. I don't like it. So this is the one that I'm going to put in for you. You can see much better. Much, much better. So I wanted to offer you the pattern. It's also up as a digital download, so you can download it straight away this morning if you want to. And that way you can download your pattern, have a look at your stash of Melba and see what you've got. And then you can add to it with the individual pieces if you wish, or you can grab a kit. So you can grab this, you can grab the green, you can grab the bright orange if you wanted to, and you can also grab this to use. So you'd grab a meter of this, and then you would grab half a meter of this, and then the other bits are little bits and pieces. So see what you've got. You might have something else you want to use. Of course, it will work with the other colourway in Melba as well. The Nouveau would look fantastic. If you want to do it in the grey background, you've got the tile print in the grey with you, and you need a grey background. It is Shadow Play K8, okay? And if you don't remember that, if you haven't written it down, I'll let you know when you order if you want to know. Same, we've got an ivory that we can run with the ivory in pink. We're very, very low on black in this, but we do have enough to do some kits. So if you wanted to go black and have black here, we can do that also for you. I'm going to be so sad when it's all gone. Very sad, but I love a party. So much so, we can do a whole exhibition of a party for 3 days. And it's going to be great. I don't want to think about how many scones I'm going to have to cook for the tea room. Anyway, it's going to be wonderful. And you know, usually, I mean, isn't it great being a quilter when it hits autumn and winter? Because everyone else is like, it's going to be dark, it's going to be cold, long evenings, and we're like, yes. sewing time. So I'll be spending my winter planning our exhibition and making some things for that. So that'll be fun. Right, that's up there. I have missed telling you the most important thing that is in your kit, which is your pack of Epiplex. So these are in the kit as well. You don't need the full shebang. You've got 25 in there. You need more than that, but these are our reusable Epiplex ones. So they are in your kit as well. So you've got them, and that's up on the website. So I'll leave that there. Right. There's other stuff to talk about, but we'll get to it in a tick. One thing too, as I like to do now for you, confetti, hand sewing, machine sewing thread. I've picked out two that just go beautifully with this project, and also with this green and the orange scroll and the orange flowering gum. So these are, I forget their names. They've probably got really fancy schmancy names. This is burnt something. This is 410, beautiful burnt orange, and this is a gorgeous olive green. Lovely, not too dark, a little bit of yellow in it. It's really lovely. That's 611. So they are your go-tos for all of the Australis Melba prints, but also for that little project as well. There you go. Yeah. Right. Fun. That was good fun. What am I going to... How naughty was that? You know that's where that's going to end up, don't you? If it's not in my stash, it'll be in a Pam's Creative pack, probably. And she tells me off as well. She goes, what were you doing? Okay, I'll just tell her it was the start of the bolt. It wasn't me, Mum. It wasn't me at all. All right. So, a few things to go through today in terms of projects. And one of them, of course, is going to be our Easter project from the calendar. So if you've got your calendar, which I don't, Robbie, if you're listening and you are coming past the shed on your way to the garden shed, could you please come in and get me a calendar? Not that we really need it this morning, do we? It's tagged. So we've got it. But our Easter project, well, our April project, which is where Easter is this year, is our Easter egg pen cushion. So I wanted to go over this morning. If you've got your calendar, you're all good to go. It's fine. If you've got your calendar and you didn't grab a kit, but you think now you might like one, I have popped a few up online this morning. We just had a few spare pieces that I could do some extras up with. So they are up for you this morning. And they feature this gorgeous fabric, which is also up for you this morning with a little bit of a special on it, which is this one from Robert Kaufman. Isn't that just divine? Love it. And we've got colour movements from Dougie. Oh, I shouldn't say Dougie anymore. This was Dougie. Dougie owned and ran Kona Bay Fabrics. Don't we all miss Dougie and Kona Bay Fabrics? We do. So Doug, when he closed up Kona Bay, he sold the designs for this lovely little print to Jason in the beginning. So we've been able to get this print from in the beginning, but now it has also been discontinued. So, which is very, very sad. I love it. Thank you very much. A lot of people in America call this an Indigenous print, which is a bit of a giggle because it's actually off a kimono. Got nothing to do with Indigenous artwork. But there you go. A little bit of scandal for the morning. Okay, so this is pre-shaped reverse applique. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning a little bit, okay, over this project. If you don't have your calendar, I'm going to show you how to do it yourself as well. So here's April. I put in some of my giant chives. There's some eggs from the girls down here, which should be out there laying right now. There's our little project. This is sitting on a little tea towel I bought. One of my first purchases from one of the Warrigal op shops, so I'm very attached to this. And over here in the calendar this month, we've got our chive and parmesan scones with homemade tomato jam. So tomato jam right now is on the stove, just lightly simmering away while I'm doing the show with you. So we're making a lot of tomato jam at the moment to have for farm gate sales over Easter and into autumn. So there you go. I'm just going to go through here and just have a look at, I just want to go down the end because I wanted to see, here we go. I'm just checking my recipe. Isn't that so silly? Because I want to make some of these this week as well, because we've got ladies coming. How naughty is that? Sorry, just taking up your time. I just thought, do I make those or normal scones this week? I don't know. All right, so when you get to this project, you'll see in here, in your calendar, you've got your egg shape. So it's all going to be pristine, but you can make your own egg shape as well. You don't need to have it out of a diagram, but if you go onto the internet, and tell you right now, just go in and put in Easter egg, line drawing, and it will bring you up a whole heap of egg shapes that you can use. So I'm just going to draw one for you. Now sit. Is that all right with you? Now sit. Oh, I've lost my reading glasses somewhere in the house or in the garden, and I had these new. I know you're gonna sympathise with me. Multifocals, and every now and then, if I move too quickly, I'm getting that whole woozy motion sickness thing going on. So I'm hoping I find the others soon, but I know I have to get used to them. I'm just going to draw an egg shape. Now it's a little bit wonky. I can probably trim him down a bit here. This is going to be something that's really good fun to do with little people. If you have little people staying with you over the holidays. Margaret's arrived today, so I might have some little people around as well. Or some people that behave like children over Easter. Oh my goodness. You know I'm like a kid backstage at a pop concert, don't you? With people like Priscilla and where am I getting Priscilla from, you may ask? Oh, I'd be picking her up off the ferry from Gloria Hoffman. Thursday week. And then I'm going to take her to the Moonlit Sanctuary so she can feed a wallaby on the way through. She's done all that before, but feed a wallaby and show her around the Mornington Peninsula a bit, and then she'll be back here with us and ready to see you. I'm hoping to fit in a show, but we have... we have to work it out. Either way though, if you're in a quilter's life and you can't make it on Easter Saturday, Easter Monday, I don't know, some excuse like living in England or something. Janet Holland, by the way, is our new member from England this week. Some lame excuse like that. Don't worry, I'm filming a little get together just for members to pop on a quilter's life while she's here. A little interview, if you like. I'm going to practice my podcast skills. All right, I've taken my wonky. I'll show you what I did. I've taken my wonky Easter egg, and I've chosen the side that I liked the best. And I've folded my paper in half, and then I have just cut it out. So now, when I open it up, you can see I liked this side, and this side was my wonky side. So now I've got my egg shape. It could be a little bit more sloped. It could be, this one on here is fatter, but I don't care. I'm quite happy with that. That will do for today. So you can use this to make a pin cushion, but you could also use it to make some lovely little drawstring bags to pop some Easter eggs in for someone special at Easter. If it's someone that's a little bit older, you know, there's always Lindt chocolate, there's Ferrero, there's homemade truffles. That would be the go, wouldn't it? Maybe some sugared almonds, which look like little Easter eggs anyway. That's what my mum would love. So that shape's going to make a lovely little bag for you, and you can just make it as large, as small as you like. You might even want to do smaller ones once you get the hang of this. Oh, that is a really bad egg. That's the sort of egg that Marjorie lays when she's had a bad day. Sorry, that's Auntie Marjorie the chicken. You could do a little row of 3 as well on something going that way. So lots of options. I love the idea of having some little placemats made for Easter lunch with this shape, and set a little egg on top. Would be really sweet. Or one of those little chickens you can get. So now that we've got this shape, we need to transfer that onto a medium that we can then use to reverse applique with. So I'm going to use Total Support, which is one of these new babies, you know, that we've got. So I'm going to use this from Wonderful. Remember to mention the brand, Leesa. When the social media thing gets me all the time. Okay. I'll pop this up through here. Cut it out. I'm leaving enough around the edges because you do want a little bit of stability around the shape as well. You don't want it too close to the edge. I'm going to pop that back in this little trusty box. Maybe this way because I've chopped a bit off. Pop that up there. Now we are ready to transfer this shape on. Probably don't need to use a Sharpie now. So the whole idea is we are creating a window. I'm going to use my little scissors. If you want to be quite frugal with your medium, so you could use Total Support, you could use Polyfuse if you still have some, you could use freezer paper. The thing about the Total Support is if I choose to leave it in, I can. It's AQC week, Jill, as you are there. I'm excited for you that you're at AQC. And I'm just having flashbacks to when I taught at AQC, which is a whopping, goodness, 17 or 18 years ago. It was a big week. It was the last year, I think, at the World Trade Center, maybe, or the second last one. There was a couple there, wasn't there? And that year, Gabrielle Swain was here from the US teaching. And I was a big fan of some of the things that she did. She did a lot of botanical art style quilts. And she would do the whole yin-yang, I don't know what you want to call it, positive, negative thing. So she would do, say, a leaf, and the leaf would be done as a reverse applique or quilted on one side, and then she would have the cutout piece over on this side. So everything matched up, and they were opposites of each other, a negative and positive if you like. So keep that in mind, because you could actually do a reverse egg, and then you could have a little extra 3D bagged out one sitting on the side. Lots, we're just going to tip of the iceberg this morning. So now we need to have a look at fabrics. Now I could just make another one in this fabric, but where would the fun in that be? So I've pulled out some other ones to play with. Instead of this gorgeous geometric one from Kaufman that we've got here, I've pulled out one from Jace. So this is Jason's here. And this was a Halcyon or Halcyon, depending on which way you like to butter your bread. And we only have about a metre left of this, a metre or so. So what I've actually done, I went in this morning and I changed it. I put it on special, and I put it down to selling in increments of a fat quarter. So you can just buy a fat quarter for $4 if you wish to use. So it was just one of his first more geometric blenders with just a myriad of colours in there. You could go anywhere with this. You could go orange, yellow, pink, red, purple. It's just beautiful, and I really, really hope he's got some more. Well, and that's not a lie. I know he's got more coming out like this early next year. We've also got some lovely ranges that I can't share with you yet. I'm sharing with the shops, but eventually you'll get to see them. But I'm just sharing them with the shops that'll be pre-ordering them, because we're ordering sort of 6 months out at the moment. So I don't want to get you excited before I've had a chance to show all of our lovely shops. So with this one, what we're going to do is cut some of our Easter egg out. Now if you have a look here, you can see I've done strips over the top of the gold. How about we do it round the other way today, just as an example? Shall we do that? So I'm actually going to have my Easter egg, which is the gold here, in this fabric, and then we're going to lay the gold over the top Now we need a background for this as well. So I had to choose one of those many colours in Jason's fabric, and I have gone for purple, which is showing up quite black on that screen, isn't it? That's what it looks like there. There you go. So it's just beautiful colour movement again, same as the one that's actually in here. And again, I've popped that a little bit on special for you this morning. So first of all, what we need to do is cut a piece of this to use. And this is our whole, what do you want to call it, project pincushion bag. So whatever you cut from this, you need to cut a piece that's big enough to accommodate your drawstring bag, your placemat, whatever you decide to make out of it. I think I want to do a little drawstring bag, and I think that these colours are going to be fantastic to give one to Priscilla while she's here as an Easter present, because I just think she's Guatemalan. She loves colour. My goodness. Mad about colour and all of the beautiful inspiration that comes from textiles and architecture and everything in Guatemala. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to cut a piece from this. Don't panic, I've made sure there's enough on the website for me to nick a bit to use. And it is a a directional pattern, so I need to decide if I want my waves to go down or my waves to go across. I probably want them to go across. So I'm going to cut, well, if I'm a good girl and I cut the ½ metre off that I have stolen from the website, not stole, acquired. Stealing would suggest it's not my fabric, and acquiring would suggest I treat it as a stash. I don't know what the best word to use is. Where shall I put this for a bit of scandal? Shall we pop this up here so you can see it? That just messes up things, doesn't it? I'll stick that up there. So now I've got this piece, and obviously I need to trim it up a little bit. And while I'm doing this, let's talk threads, shall we? Because if you have a look at this one up close, you can have a close look up on the website as well, where I've popped it under kits this morning. What you have to remember is you need to applicate all those bits down. So you can do it by hand, of course, or you can choose to make it a bit of a feature. And I did my original one with metallic gold. Now I have marked on the website today under the word Easter 3 that I think are the best. So these 3. So you've got a darker gold, a lighter gold, and this beautiful soft gold in metallic. All right, and then with those you need to run something that's fine and polyester in your bobbin. Okay, so I've sort of gone through and matched up things. This is a new deco bob for us. So that's the deco bob there, and you can see it's a lovely pale fawny taupey colour, so it's going to go with so many different colours, including this beautiful soft gold. This is Spotlight 3215, so you'll see I've tagged those up. That's those 2. This is a brighter gold. This is 8858, so I'll sit that there. And I popped with him Deco Bob 950 because it's a pale yellow. So then this is going to work with so many different things as well, through all different shades of yellows and creams. And the other one is a darker gold. It's kind of quite classy, and that particularly looks really nice with dark, sort of plum olivey colours. That's 6602. And with that one I put Deco Bob 952. This is going to take you right down into rusty colours and browns as well. So, I mean, let's face it, if you've got your tension right on your machine, you're not going to see it. So, but they, that's my little combos in threads this morning. So, aside of that, you might actually like to just do blanket stitch with the cotton if you're going to blanket stitch. And with that this morning, I've decided that when I do mine for Priscilla, I'm going to do it with this beautiful pink. I'm going to make it stand out. And this is Confetti, Confetti 313. And I've popped it with a hot pink, which I have marked on the website. Oh, there it is. It is colour 920. So they're all under there today. But with this fabric over here, we can put absolutely anything with it. So now that I've got this ready to go, in terms of height, I need to do the width of my little drawstring bag. So I think probably nothing too huge. And I'm not going to put darts or anything in it. I'm just going to do it as a little flat bag because then she can take it home. So pop that there, like that. How wide did I go? I went 8 inches. I can use the same one for the lining if I want to. So I'm going to pull one of these off, put my threads over here out of the way, and just give this a little quick iron to get that crease out. All right. So where to put our egg? Now if I'm going to do a little bit of a gather drawstring up the top, I'm going to want to pull this down here a little bit further. So I'm going to flip this over, pop it on the ironing board, and sit that here. Oh, upside down. Oh, can you hear that? Ginny's trying to get in the shed. Robbie, can you come and let Ginny in, please? Or she's just going to meow, meow at the door. I'll iron that one too. So I've ironed this onto the back. There's a little bit of steam coming out of my iron, but essentially you just want a nice hot dry iron to pop that on. Now we can come through and cut out the center. So what you actually want to do, we're now working in reverse applique. So we still need to leave our seam allowance. Meow, meow. She's banging on out there. There we go. So a good 1/4 inch right round. And if you're also in a Quilter's Life, if you go back a couple of Easters, we have done this as well. So you've got a record of it in the club. Okay, so we're going to cut that piece out. Save that for the scrap basket. And then you're going to snip. Right round. I'll come up close for you. So just like with any applique, the tighter the curve, the closer together you're going to want your little darts to be. I'm going to stop here because I've got enough here to show you. And we'll grab our glue stick. Now, it just seems like a logical thing to do to actually put the glue on the darts, but it's better to pop your glue on your medium that you're using around here, because sometimes if your glue's a little bit firm, as you glue these, you'll start to fray and distort the darts. So it's better just to do them. That's not a cuticle stick. It's better to put the, no, it's not a cuticle stick. I can't see it. It's my go-to tool, isn't it? What shall we use instead? I've seen them in many, many different places around the shed. Just not where they're supposed to be. All right, I'll use this little satay stick here. So you're just going to use your tailor's awl, your satay stick, your cuticle stick, whatever you're using, and just use it to push up these like that. How easy is that? There we go. So you'll just keep going all the way around like that. And when you flip it over, you're going to have this beautiful pre-shaped edge around here with the wrong side, like that. Okay, so you can see you've got your fold there. It's all underneath. And you can literally use this technique to do anything. You're going to find there's limits when you get down to really small detail, but if you wanted to do a reverse applique heart, circle, leaf, anything, it's going to work the same way for you. I think the trick is to have a really good firm medium that sticks really well. Depending on the brand of freezer paper you might have in your stash, the really thin one, which for us would be a Matilda's own brand, it's not enough. You need something that's a bit firmer. So the old-fashioned, what's it called? You know the stuff in the blue box, that one. That's from the States. That's going to be your best one in terms of freezer paper. Otherwise, Polyfuse, Total Support are really, really great. All right, so I'm going to leave that where it is for now. And then we need to have a look at what we're going to use. I'll pop that back there. What we're going to use to actually make our egg with. And as I said, I really want to use Jason's fabric here. So again, I allowed myself a little bit off this bolt. And I'll go around the other end. We need the shape of the egg because this is going to sit up underneath this. But, all right, you're going to have to excuse me for a minute. I think Rob's got the Karcher running and he can't hear me. So I'm just going to let my cat in because she's driving me nuts. Jimmy. Meow. Come on, in you come. Oh my goodness. What a fuss. I haven't had to go off camera to get you in a door or out a door for a very, very long time. Sorry about that. So we need a generous piece that's just going to fit underneath our egg. So probably, what do you think? About there? Just enough right round. So, oh, I love you too, Ginny Pie. Oh, row, row, row. So we're going to cut this through. Here we go. Okay, like that. Sorry, Jason, shouldn't have done that to your fabric. And we'll give this a little iron. And that's all we really need to do with that piece. I'm just trying off the selvage. Because this is going to sit over there. And it's going to, oh, that's going to look so cool. That's going to show through underneath. Let me put this over here for you. Now I want to go back and finish all that pre-shaping, but we've got so much to get through. There you go. There's your egg. It'll look like that. Now, I had planned this morning, I planned to put the gold over the top, and now I don't know that I want to. What a dilemma. You know what? I'm going to... Oh. Yeah, okay. yeah, we're going to do it. Oh, Ginny, I love you too, but could you just leave my legs alone for a minute? Okay, I'm just going to... No watching. Don't watch. Nothing to see here. Just stealing a little bit off our precious metals. So precious metals is tagged under today's show as well. And just note with that, when you purchase your buying 25 centimeters, it is by no means a financially lower end of the market fabric. She's not. So and you don't often need a lot. So we sell it in 25 centimeter increments because sometimes, just like this morning, we just want a little pop, just a little bit. All right, that's going to look really, really good. And as you know, I'm going to blanket stitch in hot pink. I've got the steamer seam out, and we'll grab this and cut a little bit of this as well. Now I know you've all been talking to me, so I'd better just check who I missed. What am I missing? Freezer paper is not cheap, I know. Yes, Melissa, I am using my ginghams because they have been downgraded to paper slash fabric at the moment, and I get them sharpened every year. So yes, I know, but they just go on forever. Good morning, good morning. Yes, a coaster would be fabulous too, Deb. Absolutely. Yeah, Deb, that would use it, make a bag out of it. That would all be wonderful. I know you have to move your eyes, not you see, and I'm looking over my glasses and I'm not supposed to. And I paid a bomb for the non-reflective ones so I could wear them while talking to you, Janet. They're driving me mad. Here it is. Carol says she loves tomato jam. I'm going to have it for sale again next week. That's the whole plan because we're on end of season tomatoes. Hi. Did you get left out? Did you get left out? Did you? Oh no. You get left out, Jin Jin. What do you want to sit on? Melissa's busy making things for the exhibition. That's fantastic. Good afternoon, Ash. Yes, it is, Sue. I'm wrapped. You finished your Baltimore. And yes, it is a digital download pattern for the hexagon. I saw something I missed. Gee, Carol, no, you're not getting in the car again and driving all the way from your place for one day. I wouldn't allow it anyway. Oh, Diana has gossip about Benetics. Can I get that gossip from you later? Good morning, so good morning, Deb. Really? I thought you'd be all over reverse applique. Well, we'll have to fix that, won't we? Oh, Rosemary Brooks, she's so funny. You just got left outside, Mum, and it was so sad. Hey? I feel like she's going to attack me any minute, though. She's just a bit feisty this morning. All right, steamer seam is what I'm going to use. Flies to fix steamer seam. You'll only need a couple of little bits. And what I'm up to now is adding in a little bit. Oh, my goodness. Did you want your mat? Fluff ball. Hang on. Puss, did you want this? Ginny? Oh, yeah. Did you, excuse me, did you want this? There you go. There you go. You sit on yours. Right. And I thought, you know, steamer seam just comes and goes, but I do find a lot of people grab it when they're here in the shop, and so I thought, well, I will tag it today because it's just one of those extra things. You get really mad if you haven't got some at home. Just keep it in a cool, dry place, and this will last a very, very long time. It's super sturdy because it's got that extra protective layer on it compared to Lysafix. They both great, and they both have uses, but steamer seam is mailing, postal friendly. I've made a big mess. Look at this. Not good, is it, Ginny? Right, what I want to do now is add in some extra detail like I did on this one. So I'm going to go back and have a look again at our original shape, and I've got the one here, of course, that we cut out from Total Support. So I'm going to trace, well, not trace, I'm going to draw onto this some lines. Now you can do this with anything if you've got something that's a circular shape around you. So I think I've taken in my dishes from my lunch yesterday, so I haven't got a plate in here. But for example, I've got my magnetic pin cushion. So if I just pop that down there, I can actually get a feel for a circle shape. That was everything that wasn't magnetic just fell out. Did you see that? Then we've also got my coffee cup that I can put up towards the top to get an idea of shape. So if you have a look at these two on here, they start to give dimension to the shape of the egg and putting the lines in a little bit 3D. This one down here is not too bad, but this one I can see he needs to flatten out a bit. He just makes the egg look a little bit distorted. Again, like one of Marjorie's eggs. like that. I must say, at the moment, if you would like to buy some eggs, you can pre-order online if you're coming to see us. Absolutely. Or please don't hesitate to ask. It's really funny at the moment because there's an egg shortage in many parts of Melbourne that people come and it's like the, have you got any eggs? Have you got any eggs? The best thing to do is ring ahead or pre-order ahead online, and then they are yours and secured, because otherwise I might sell them to someone else, and or I've got catering on, but I will always accommodate if you need eggs from my girls for you to pick up while you're here. No problem at all. Cut. So these, see, I've got little shapes going on here now, little curves, and they are actually what I would like to put on my egg. So I'm going to go across onto my steamer seam and transfer these on. So I can pop my steamer seam over the top and draw on these shapes. And I want to allow a little bit extra at each side for some overlap. So there's 1, 2, I think this is going to be so much fun to do with little people. And I'm just going to say out loud, you know, if you don't want to do it with fabric with them, just pop into your local stationery store and grab a big pile of coloured paper and do it cut and paste glue. Do the same thing, cut and paste glue. Reverse applique the whole lot. They're going to love it. See what I'm doing? I'm just adding some little tags on each end because we need that overlap to sit underneath. So we're now going to pop these onto our gold. They're pretty much rough and ready, but you know, pretty much a symmetrical shape, so we don't need to worry about reversing the shape or anything on these. So put one here. And one, two, and look, all of the prep for this is nearly done, and once this is all together you'll be ready to go straight ahead and blanket stitch or applique them on. So there's a lot of fun cut and paste prep, and then all of a sudden it's all together. Just going to give these a little iron to make sure they're stuck on to my gold fabric. Like that. Then we'll quickly cut these out. And the thing about all of this stuff is with the raw applique stuff is that, you know, you've just got so many options to stick it down. But also if you're going to do thin pieces like this, then you can also maybe think about doing it perhaps with some braid, with some bias. You might have something, anything that's you can curve a little bit, you're going to be fine to use. So just, I don't know, if you used a plainer fabric for your actual egg, you could spend some time playing with all those beautiful decorative stitches on your sewing machines that you don't play with. And I'm just saying that because I know I don't either. But we all go to the demo and they show us all these beautiful decorative stitches that you can do with your machine, and what happens when we go home as quilters? We don't use them. Unless you do an heirloom quilt, but we just don't use them. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I need to draw around, what will I use so it will show up? I got one of my chalk pens here. Let's have a look. What colour is this one? Oh, this one's white. That's great. So I need to draw this egg on to my actual egg fabric. Even though it's going to sit in here, I do need a guideline for the shape so that I can stick my strips over the top. What do you think about there? One down there, like that. Of course, this is the great thing about steamer seam, is that it becomes a sticker. So you can pop it in place and check that it all works up on a design wall or anything you like. See, it doesn't come off. But it's still movable, so you can play with where the pieces go. It's the last one. Alright, it looks really weird, doesn't it? It looks like a bug in the making. Let's just sit this over the top, and that's where it's going to sit. So I might just move, for me, I just want to move this one up a little bit, because, see, this is all about me being slack and not finishing off this yet. I do have more showing down there because I haven't finished folding over my seam allowance yet, but you will get the idea here that that's how it's going to look. So that'll look super. So we'll take this across to the ironing board and we'll secure these in place. There we go. So now this is where I'm up to here with popping my seam allowance under. So now you can see what my Easter egg's going to look like, and you can also see, so I've allowed a little bit less at the bottom than at the top, so I've got room to do a little fold down, and I might get some nice pink ribbon or some gold braid to finish off at the top. I've just remembered I've actually got some beautiful gold braids up in my stash that I bought from Liz. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I could have done this with gold braid as well, but you know what? This is going to look great, and I really hope Priscilla likes it. And this is, I'm going to take this off if I can. You know what I want to do, don't you? I really want to cut it. Can you hear what Ginny's up to? I'm sorry, the cat has been first and foremost in my conversation this morning, because this is where I confess up. Somebody may have got locked in the shed last night. She was fine. I mean, if you're going to get locked up somewhere, get locked up in a quilt shop because it's warm. And she was sleeping in a basket of bags, and Rob came in and called for her and she didn't come, so she ended up in here for the whole night. And when she didn't come home last night, I'd gone to bed, and this morning Rob said she hadn't gone home. I went, she's going to be in the shed still. So this morning, it's payback. She loves the shed, but she's just letting everybody know she spent the night in the shed, a bit like the night she spent the night in the car. That's another story. Anyway, look at that pink against that. That's going to be a riot, and I'm going to pop that deco bob in the bobbin with it. I don't need to. I can use the confetti in both, but I already have this one open. We've already been using it when we were doing some work with eleganza, wasn't it? So I've got that in there ready to go. So that's going to be fun. Now, we only have a week and a half to get that finished, if that. But I've done most of the prep already, and then I'll be able to whiz around there. You're going to go round not just these, remember, you'll go around the edge here as well. And what I did with that, you go in reverse so that the spokes, as I call them, on your blanket stitch go outwards. They don't come inwards, they'll actually go out. So you'll sit it the opposite way to what you usually do with the machine. However, you might also have a machine like Deb Burt and myself, Josie, Louise, I'm thinking about who's watching, Diane, that have a look. You might actually have a reverse blanket stitch where it will let you point it in each direction. There will be a little gradient sign to mirror your stitch, or they'll actually be set up in the machine to go left or go right. So have a look for that, because that'll make life a lot easier for you as well. So there you go. That's one thing prepared to Priscilla coming. I've done the menu for Easter Monday. It's another thing done. Everything else not done, but it will be. Of course, the obvious thing to keep as well is this egg from the middle of your reverse applique egg, because now you've actually got your egg shape. So it is total support, so you can still use it for normal traditional applique as well if you want to. So you'll actually iron this onto the back of another fabric, cut it out, turn your seam allowance over onto the back, and this is pre-shaped, and you leave this in. So then you've got a second Easter egg to use for normal applique as opposed to reverse. If you do play around and make yourself an egg shape you really like, remember to make a copy of it out of template plastic, write on it any notes, or put it in a little loose leaf folder sleeve and keep it for next year, because you might find something else you want to use it with. If it's not for Easter, you might have something else come along, like Judy Vermeulen and a gorgeous chicken, because Jude's really good at stitching out chickens. I know. So you might have something else that you want to use it with, a farm scene, chickens, cows, or whatever. There'll be another use for it besides Easter. Make a beautiful journal cover for someone to keep all of their recipes in a beautiful book, all of that. So, love a good egg. Actually, wait, just before we move on to some precision piecing, I want to do this with you, because, wait, we're going to do it. Okay, just before we move on, you know how I love making things 3D and bagging them out, okay? So this is what else we need to do. We need to do this. Now remember this, because I'll probably turn it into a whole project for next year. So we need to do a cracked open egg. Let's just do this. There we go. So you can do a little cracked egg like that. Now with this, get the shape, right sides together. You know how to bag stuff out. We've talked about it a lot, particularly my girls AQL. Right, so two bits together, sew all the way around, slit the back, turn it through, so you've got a two-sided piece here, a two-sided piece here. Then just stitch down this side and stitch down this side on your background. Leave all these spokes sticking up, and then you can go and buy some of those gorgeous little fluffy chickens for Easter. Maybe just push it in a little bit and you sew it down and stuff them in here. And then you can have lots of little chicks, or one big chick coming out of a little egg for someone at the table at Easter. Okay, hold that idea, run with it if you want to, and I'm going to stash that myself for next year. And pop that over there with my 3 eggs. I like the idea of having eggs on a pretty tea towel or an apron as well for the kitchen. I should have an egg apron, let's face it, to collect the eggs. It's more like an ice cream container here. So, but I should have a pretty one, just for show. All right, let's clean up this mess, and then I want to talk about precision piecing with a couple of things. One is our Weekend at Melba project, and the other one is Midnight Melba. So in this little basket here, I've got a few of those things going on. Should we just do this? So we're kind of working from scratch. There is a purple egg that I do not want to lose. So, first up, Weekend at Melba. Now, depending on where you're at with yours, I may have slacked off a bit this week. I haven't got all my pink triangles yet, but I'm conscious some of you will have been ahead on this. So with Midnight Melba, if you haven't seen it, the pattern is available on the website, and we still have, I think, just 2 kits left now in the ivory pink colourway, which is the one that I'm working on. So if you put the word Midnight into the search window on the website, you will see the pattern come up. Good morning, Kinza. Good morning. Gail, hello. Who's popped in? Petra's popped in. That's lovely. Grandy's arrived. Tracy's here. Oh, good morning, Debbie. Oh, how are you this morning? Are you good? Sorry, I don't know if I missed anybody else. I think we're all good. I think I've said hello to everyone else. If I haven't, I'm really sorry. Yvonne and Marilyn, I can see you're here. And Karen Linda's here with Gail, so I do apologise. Floria, good morning. Midnight Melba is our big pattern of Emma's that we've been working on, and probably this is something I should do on a Wednesday night, but I decided some of you will be up to the next steps with it. In this quilt there's a big checkerboard border, so if you just have a look here you can see this here. Now with that, and I've popped it in the pattern as well because Em said you better talk about precision piecing when you get to that point. They are little pieces. Like, we are seriously working with finished 1-inch squares. So it's really, really important that you get your seam allowance, as Martha Stewart would say, perfectly perfect. So I've got some of mine here. Now please don't stress out, don't get confused about what I'm doing here. I'm doing mine with teal. Now we only had a skerrick left of the teal fan, so I didn't do a kit with the teal, but for mine, for our bedroom, I don't need too much pink in it. It actually needs to be a little bit more teal, so please forgive me. Yours will be in these beautiful wait colors here. There we go. So these are yours, plus another little strip of Liberty you've got with them, and you'll either be running on ivory, grey or black in your kits. All right, so you've got these. So just because I have to be different, I'm running with teal. So I have all these fabrics except for the teal fans. So I could probably, one of those new shadow plays would work. So if you've got the pattern, you haven't decided yet what you want to do. See, I've got this shadow play in, but I could run a teal one now with these. So these are all my colors here, but what I would love you to do first for me, just before you start piecing this all together, I really want you to have a look at your seam allowance. And even if you've been sewing for ages and it's all been working, this is where it's really going to show up if it's not spot on. I can hear Emma in my head at the moment. So what we've asked you to do in the pattern is to cut yourself some pieces that are 1.5 inches wide first, just from some scrap fabric. If you get one of my Creative Grids rulers in the next month and you can see that the plastic's been shaved off the edge, I do apologise. It is because I used them on this Facebook show, because at the last minute I realised I had taken my rulers inside from here by error, so I apologise. We got these back in stock, and the one that I love the most, which is 18.5 by 4.5. I don't know, it just seems to be my main go-to. So I'm just cutting 4 pieces because I want a true simulation of what I'm going to be piecing for the quilt. Just need to cut these down. And I suppose if I tried the hard sell on you on anything today, it's going to be a Creative Grid ruler, because when you are doing super thin, fine work, you just can't afford to have anything slip. Now this is going to slip on me because it's still in its plastic, so I've really got to hold it down nice and tight. You can see, did you see that? It just kicked out there at the end. But when I've got the plastic, or when you get the plastic off this one, there are all these little dots through here, and that's what makes these rulers the best because they've got all these little grip pads all the way across. Everything stays in place. Oh no! That wasn't good, was it? Oh, we'll just race around and get that when we need it. Oops. I can't blame Ginny for that one this morning. That was all me. That's because the stitch enhancer box is slightly bigger than the total support box. Alright, so we need to pop all these across like this. Okay, and we're going to sew these together. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be spot on here. So we've got 4 1.5 inch wide strips. So when they all go together, including their seam allowance, it should be 4.5 wide. Let's go across to the sewing machine and get ourselves all intimidated and scared about seam allowances. Okay, someone said, hello Julie, good morning to you. Alright, so we've got this machine here that I've given a little bit of a clean when we first got here. First thing up, and I do talk about this a bit because I do use on my studio set a wide feed dog machine. So these are 9mm wide. So you might have a 9mm, you might have a 7mm, so you might have a Janome, a FAF, or one of those that does it. Bernina do both, so they do a standard 5.5 and then they also do a wide feed dog machine, which is one of these. So it's their 570 and up and their 770 and up. And what that means is a few things. One, it has dual feed. Because it's wider, it's harder to gauge and pull the fabric through. So it has a, I'll just fix that up for you just a tick. I just want to move this camera just a little bit, just a bit more up like that. There you go. And then coming a bit closer. There you go. So because of that, we've got this extra little feed dog in here, and we have a lever that comes down and hooks onto the back of our dual feed feet, and that gives us essentially another feed dog in the middle that helps pull everything through evenly. The other thing when I'm doing precision piecing with this machine, and I would say this goes for any machine or high speed sewing, there is a straight stitch plate, and this is absolutely a game changer for straight stitching at high speed, machine embroidery, quilting, anything like that. Whether you have a normal width feed dogs or the extra wide ones, this can often make a huge difference. Same as your needle can, a beautiful sharp needle. I know this is a new one because Brie and I may or may not have ended the life of a needle yesterday sewing zips on cushions. So I've got 2 different feet here as well. This one here has a guide on the side, if you can see that. So I set that like that for you. So we've got a little guide, okay? And this is great to sit on the edge of your fabric. But quite often, if you are sewing fabric that has a bias edge to it, or it's super fine, this might be a little bit more of a hindrance than a help. And I know a lot of you that have a Janome, do pull off that guide on the side of your Janome 1/4 inch foot about a month after you've got it. Good morning, Cindy. So I'm choosing to use today my 97D foot for the Bernina. So I think it's a 37, isn't it, on a Janome. This is a 57D with the guide, little hinge guide. I love this for binding and pin tucks and stuff. But today I'm using the 97D. This is probably my preferred foot for most of my work. Do you remember the other day when I had trouble getting my foot on because of the lights? Same today. There we go. So that's now on, like that. Now I've just got to tell my machine which foot I've got on so it doesn't throw a wobbly. There we are. So I'll bring my thread up from underneath for you as well so you can see it, but also, you know, if you're chain stitching, sometimes it's nice to start with it on the top. There we go, and pull those through. Remember to always do it with your foot up too, won't you? Otherwise your tension is engaged and you will muck up your tension. All right, so that's ready to go. So what I want to do is sew these together and then just check that we've got that 1/4 inch seam right. I've cut 4 bits, but my brain's already going, how about we just chop this in half and use both of these, because then if I do need to adjust it, I've still got a couple more on the table to use. So we'll sew these together. You probably want, you don't want your stitch length too small either. You want a little bit of it. Something around about a 2.5 would be my choice. That way it's going to be enough to hold the stitch, because we're going to be cross cutting this, but it's not too small. It's got a little bit of give in it if we need it. So somewhere around there's a good length to use. So I'm sitting my foot smack on the edge of those at the moment. Now I'm not pinning because I'm doing a small piece and I'm not having to match up any seams. So really pinning may just be a little bit of a time waster with this for you. And again, maybe it will depend on the fabric you're using. I've got 2 very, very different fabrics here, which is probably a good test. I've got a really, really firm one with all the metallic gold luster over it, and I've got a digitally printed fine Jason fabric. So it's probably the 2 extremes to test, which is good. We call that, what do we call that? Extreme sewing. Now, a little bit of a pucker in here, not necessarily because of my tension, but because we've got these 2 different fabrics, and there's probably a little bit of give on at least Jason's, because we've cut super narrow pieces. So we'll just set those seams first, and then we need to choose. Oh no, look what I did. Does it matter? Probably not. I didn't have them right sides together. All right, in either case, we're going to iron towards the thinner fabric, which is Jason's. You would go towards the darker fabric, which is what I've done here. Either way, keep it consistent. So if you've got the light colored fabric, you'll want to go towards your pinks, because you don't want the seam allowance to show underneath if you can help it. But either way, make sure they're both the same. Now I have to go back to the machine. How embarrassment. And sew this one here. Shall we do another? No, we're not doing another one. Go back to the machine and do this one. This one under. Now, I could say you only need to do two pieces and make sure that they equal 2.5. But I think sometimes if there is a marginal difference, it's only going to show up when you've sewn 3 or 4 together. So the more you sew, it's out a little bit. It's going to show up more and more. There we go. Oh, well, look, I have 2 different fabrics now. I do know a lot of quilters, particularly art quilters, that use the back of their fabric, and that's my excuse. Okay. So we'll bring this over onto the board. Now I'll grab my little one. I'm going to line it up. And you can already see here, there's a little bit of movement. This isn't quite straight anymore across the top here. But it's probably the way I ironed it, and maybe I should have just ironed it more in an up and down motion. So, and this is where this grip comes in super handy. So now we're going to cross cut and I can run off the board, but also my ruler is just 1.5 wide. Don't say it. I know what you're all thinking. I should do a checkerboard top collar around the top of Priscilla's bag. Stop it. Don't say it. Get out of my head. All right, let's have a look. How did we go? All right. Phew. So that is 4.5. Now, what do you do if it's not? Well, you're going to go back to your machine. Have a look at where you're lining up your foot first. Maybe it wasn't quite in the right spot. Do that first. Maybe, just maybe, instead of having to worry about finding a different spot to line the edge of your fabric up, maybe you can move your needle across just one position and that will do it for you. There's a few friends out there that love a scant 1/4 inch, and you know who you are. That's a little bit less. Okay, Maria Waters is one of them, but there's a few. So that might be you as well. You like a really scant 1/4 inch with what you're doing. But in this case, it's got to be spot on, because when you've sewn all these little rows together, you want them all to fit perfectly as the border around your quilt. So you can change your needle position. That's the easiest thing to do. The other thing you can do is change the position that you're lining up. Now on your machine, you're just not going to have a marking that's already on your foot plate to move a skerrick across. So on mine, I've got, that's my 1/2 inch, 3/8 and 1/4 inch there. Can you see that with my very unglamorous gardening nails? All right, across there. It's not going to be a little bit. So my rule of thumb is if it is out just a bit, whatever it's out by on the board, you need to get a little piece of masking tape and come out or go in by that much on your machine, either side of your 1/4 inch mark on the machine. The other thing you can do, of course, is just do that test. Mark a piece of fabric exactly at the 1/4 inch line, see where that sits on your machine and use the edge of that fabric to put your masking tape down. But please take the time to make them all work, because it's just going to save you so much grief and time and stress later on. Now with these, what happens, you end up with a whole heap of different ones, and we come through and change them round so they sit checkerboard like that. And the joy of this is because you have always pushed your seam allowances towards the same fabric. Can you see that? They beautifully butt up against each other. So when I come to sew these together, they all nestle in together and we're going to get a really good edge. So if we have a look at these ones here, and these have been sitting in a basket for a while. Their friends have just fallen off the back. These will be the same. Turn that round and I can nestle these together. And because it's such a small piece, shall we have a go without pinning? Would that be naughty? It would, wouldn't it? Just trying to work out which combo I want to do together. Let's do this one, maybe. I don't know. Okay. All right. So up this end. I don't think this is going to work without actually pinning, but we'll have a go. So as I get down to that first spot here, I'm going to make sure that they sit together nicely. And the second I run over that one, I'm going to come up to the next one and make sure they sit nicely together. I don't like the look of this seam allowance, to be honest. I think it's a little bit lean. And I know I ran it with that other foot with the guide on it, so I'm going to have to be extra careful. And I might need to re-sew some of the seams on my pieces. have a look. Okay, we're good. Phew. Let's go back and just give this an iron. Again, I shall set the seam first before I open it. Fold that back. There we go. I do think that precision piecing can be rather addictive. I think once you get going, it's sort of like you can't believe how gorgeous they are. And that happens with kaleidoscope quilts as well. And I'm very, very excited about working with that new border of mine eventually when we get it. The fun thing is we'll be able to print it out to scale and play with it on paper before it gets here too, which will be really good fun. All right, I just ran around the front and grabbed all these pieces that had fallen. Again, I haven't worked on my weekend at Melba's this week. I have made with Brie about 30 cushions though for the veranda in preparation for a lovely group of ladies coming from America this Wednesday and another group on Friday, and then our Quilters Life members at Easter. It's my excuse. Oh, and cutting and folding packs of 75 Maywood Shadow Play fat quarters for all of you mad lot that ordered the full 75 new colour collection box. And true to her word, Margaret at this minute is folding the rest of them that I didn't get done, because remember she said live on Facebook, I will fold them. So she is. We sat up at her place till late Thursday night folding, and she's finishing them at the moment for me. So we'll get those first ones out. If you order from now onwards the fat quarter pack, and it will be going in a newsletter early this week as well, they will be done. They'll probably get done and boxed and sent out from Monday week, because it's a massive task to do. It's up there, it's getting up there with the advent calendar, to be honest. It's a massive task to do, but we will let you know when we're going to ship it. All right, with weekend at Melba's. So again, if you go back and have a look at the previous shows when we talked about it, this one contains a floating border, which is also like a floating diamond border. And I always learnt it from a book, a fantastic book from way back in the 70s. It was called A Seminole Border. So these have got floating diamonds in it. And this is just another one of those projects that is beautiful in Melba, as it was originally, but it looks really stunning. I'm not calling it beautiful because it's my own quilt, but I was really happy with it as a design to showcase the fabrics when they first came out. So that's probably more to the point. I don't think I have popped it under today's search word, which is Easter. So let me just do that. So when you go in and have a look under Easter, you'll see it. I'll just pop it in there now. So you've got it. There you go. So it'll show up in a couple of minutes under there. So yes, it works in Melba, but also works in Daydream. So we're working on this, and when I get the next constructive bit of grunt section done to it, I will show it to you. We started these, I remember, last week, and I don't know if you remember or not, but I got to one and I sewed it and it wasn't quite right. Now, admittedly, I think what I did, I actually got Brie to pin some of these for me, who's one of my lovely junior staff, who was in here with me working yesterday. And I think what happened was I was explaining to Brie, because I ear bash her, I try and impart as much information on her as possible sometimes. I was explaining to her how it was a floating border and that we cut the pieces of the background larger so that we can trim it back to a precision seam allowance later. I think Brie, because she's very smart, she interpreted that we could actually sit the squares of the feature fabrics in the middle of the side of the triangles we're adding them to. And that's what happened. So I've repinned them, and I didn't even think to tell her yesterday, so I must tell her. But when you pin these, and whenever you're doing anything like this with triangles, you can see here I need to line up. This is the edge that wasn't lined up on them all, so it must meet at the edge where you've got right angles, but over on this side, right angle, and then you'll have your little ear of your triangle sticking out. So Bree sort of had these sitting in the middle, and I understand I maybe fed her half the information, so I will let her know. I'm letting you know as well. So there you go. So these have all been pinned. I've popped 3 pins in, and you can see with all of them what we've done is we've made sure that the triangle is on the bottom, and that's because this is cut on the bias, so you've got much more chance of this all sitting lovely and flat and an accurate piecing if you've got any bias edge on the bottom, because then the feed dogs are going to pull it through evenly for you, as opposed to just having your flat foot on the top. Did I get all of the green? Nearly. There's green paint on my fingernails. I'm so sorry. And that's a rose thorn in there. I'm not looking for sympathy, but I just want you to know if I cringe every now and then, it's because I got to get it out. All right, so we're going to sew across here, and then we've got the other one on the other side, and then we're going to get this effect. And I want to do 3 or 4 of these with you just now, so we can have a look at the piecing and also see how this is going to come together. And then, my friends, we're going to get these quilts made. All right, so again, with this whole precision foot thing, I really don't want one with a guide on it for this. I just want my nice flat 1/4 inch foot so I can sit on the edge and make sure when I put my needle in to start that it is in the fabric hygiene. And take off nice and slow. I've got a securing stitch on this at the moment. Oops, I'm not happy. I took that off when I was showing you. Okay, there we go. No. Really, don't do that, Jen. Okay. Okay, so right along here. And then we'll finish off with a finishing stitch at this end. I cleaned that fluff out of my machine this morning, but I can hear it's a bit clunky. It does need a little bit of oil. It got oiled last week. Bananas are thirsty beasts. But a lot of that has to do with the, no, you can't sit on the computer because you'll cut the girls off early. Go away. It has to do with the way the mechanisms in the machine work and that beautiful big bobbin. Right, there's one. What do we do? Will we do this pretty? I'll do this pretty one. It's the green one. So while we look at hand sewing and English paper piecing and binding, there's all those great things to do in front of the television. I find it's a great spot to do all my pinning as well. And I think I tend to pin better and more thoroughly if I'm not just sitting there pinning and I've got something to watch or something to distract me. I do a better job. So pinning is also, pinning can be quite tedious, can't it? I'm being lazy going straight over my patchwork pins, but they're made for the task. And I think we'll just do this pretty one and then we can have a look at them. So you can see that with having that bias edge on the triangles underneath, they're actually running through really easily. As far as I can tell at the moment, we haven't got any puckering, which is a relief and a half. Last one. asked me too the other day if we've got any more kids projects coming. And I just wanted to let you know we do. Oh, sorry, projects, quilts coming and fabrics coming. We do. They're coming later in the year. So there is the most cutest dragon fabric, but not dragon, cute little dragon print that will be here sort of later about September, I think. And then there's a couple of others, but I just wanted to let you know, yes, there are some coming, but they will be going out to our friends in other stores as well first to see and order. And that was the big thing this week with this particular one. I mean, we worked so far ahead, but it was like, okay, we need, this cannot come from America now. It has to come out of Korea. So there was a lot of conversations. There were people getting on planes to literally go and have meetings at factories and talk about lead times and minimum order quantities for shipping direct to places other than America. I just want to reassure you, it's all going on in our little industry, which is not so little in America, but it is all, everyone in Australia is working at the moment in this industry to make sure it doesn't impact on the price of fabrics for you. I didn't know which way to go with my seam allowances on this. Have a look. Maybe not look there. Yeah, sorry. But I've gone inwards towards the feature fabric because all of the background's going to be white, but some of them, like this one, are not. So setting the seams first, okay, and then just very carefully and gently pushing that seam up, being so careful not to push these triangles out of shape where they are cut here on the bias. All right, and it's like the other one that we're doing, really important that they all go the same way, so we get some consistency to the overall appearance where the seam allowances show through, but also it might help along the way with abutting the seams together. You can hear I've got my steam on, my little iron, and I think that's pretty important at this stage. But you can see, just don't push out. You've just got to gently get that seam set. Here we go. All right. So shall we put the hummingbirds in the middle? There we are. It'll look pretty. And again, now you can see having these seams all go the same way when I pop these two together. They're going to butt against each other really nicely. So with this quilt, obviously, they're much bigger pieces. So I'm going to pin those seam allowances that are butt together like that. And then I know they can't move. And then down this end, one through here. I'm going to flip this over though, because these are my two that are on the bias again. So this one, or have I got that the right way? No, I've got one going one way and one going the other way. One that way and one this way. So I'm going to have to be extra careful if it's on the top, or I could stop and flip halfway through. Of course, the other brilliant thing that we have as a tool to stabilize is our 1/4 inch tape. So this is the other thing I can do, is just stick a bit of that on, and then it won't move like that. There we go. So pin in there. Done. All right, let's just sew this one before we go, because all of us have probably got a lot we need to do today. Leesa Scarf, I can see you're watching. How are you? Oh my goodness. Were you not on daylight saving, Leesa? Is that why I haven't seen you for a while? The Northern Territory on daylight saving? I don't know. Joe Kraus, good morning. Okay. These brats here. Hey, listen, thank you very much for joining me this morning. I hope to be here on Wednesday night. If not Wednesday night, I will be here Thursday night. The reason being, I'm going to be honest, there's some massive stuff on this week. And we have a few lovely groups coming through, including some lovely ladies. Is Serena here this morning? Some lovely ladies in from America, and this is a big thing for us. We've sort of looked forward and used this date as a deadline for quite a while. I'll give a little tour update probably tomorrow for Quilters Life members of what we've been up to here. Maybe it's a bit of a spoiler for Easter, but I want to show you what we've been doing backstage. And that is on Wednesday, and then some other groups through. So even though we don't attend AQC, we have people that use it as a great chance if they're in Melbourne to come and visit. It's kind of one of those weeks where you go, build it and they will come, because it's nearly a year since we first opened. So I can't believe it. It's gone so fast, hasn't it, Jen? Let's have a look at this. So again, I've taken my tape off, and that just held that seam there really nicely. And then we open up, and then we've got our magic perfect join in the middle. It's not rocket science. I don't even think really it's a skill thing. It's just knowing all the little tricks to match up your seams with pressing your seams in one direction, where and how to pin, and you'll be checking that seam allowance is good to go. And then little tricks like the 1/4 inch tape if you need it. Have your bias on the bottom otherwise. There you go. And so then we've got a pretty good seam there in the middle. And as for the back, what I have decided to do is I'm actually going to press these seams open, and that's going to give us just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more consistency on the back, and it's going to keep this flat. And what I mean by consistency is where this seam allowance shows through. Now you can really see it here, but when I've got it sitting on my pale batting underneath later, you can actually see that all of a sudden you can barely see those seams at all on there. So this is now for me when I've got a chance just to keep going, and I'll come back and pop that next one on and keep going with all the others to go down each side on the weekend at Melba's Quilt. And I've popped it under the word Easter for you to have a look at today. So I hope to see you Wednesday night, and if not, I might see you on Thursday night, but bear with me, I'll let you know as soon as I can. Northern Territory doesn't have daylight saving. Oh, but she's now in South Australia and we do, so you're only half an hour behind. That's fantastic. Dell, hello. I am using the Clover patchwork pins, so you'll find those on the website. They're the little blue and yellow ones. Would you like me to tag those for you? I can do that right now. I'll put them under today's word for you, under the word Easter. They are Clover patchwork pins. We can do that. Glass head. I think this is them. Yes. So I'll pop them under today's search word Easter for you. And then you can easily find them. Done. They'll show up in a couple of minutes under the search word. And then if you've got any other questions, please pop them in an email to me rather than on Facebook because I won't be checking in that much today. I'll be literally at the moment, I'm about to throw on the old jeans and the gumboots, and we're going to wash down the veranda deck because hopefully that's the end of the hot weather and the dust, and we really need to get it all clean so it's ready for when you come to visit over the next couple of weeks. Bernadette, no problemo. Thanks, Jackie. Janice Juffs, how are you this morning? Pamela Joyce, I can see you're here. Thanks, Lorraine. Thanks, Yvonne. Everybody. Oh, did I miss anything else? I think I am good and I've covered everything. But I will check tonight when I've got a chance, all right? You enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and if you're in the UK or the US or anywhere else in the world, I hope you have a fabulous Saturday night and Sunday as well. So I'll see you one night, if not briefly, this week, and then next Sunday, oh, you're going to need your sunglasses. I have got the most incredible new range of fabric. That is the Telly line for today. I want you to think these kind of colours, but they're festive, they're carnivalish, they're all bright, beautiful colours, and we're going to celebrate colour and get ourselves in the mood for when Priscilla's here the week after. So that is next Sunday. We're going to do big tote bags. We're going to look at fussy cutting them. I'm sitting here looking at them. I'm not going to show you yet, but that is next Sunday. We'll get those all up on the website. We'll have a bit of fun with some colour next Sunday morning, all right? So again, have a fantastic week. If you're in the club, you can email me through there, or you can send an email to info@chandlerscottage.com, and I'll catch you soon. And thank you so much for spending this morning with me. All right, bye everyone.